Hey everybody, it's Matt. I hope you're doing awesome. You guys ready for Thanksgiving? We're almost ready around here, I would say. Should be a good time. On another webinar that I had this week, the GoToWebinar chat, for some reason was not working. So, will you guys do me a favor and put something in the questions box? And let's see if I get it. If I don't get your comments, like I didn't the other day, what we'll do is we'll have you guys message in through support or send a message in through Facebook. So it's right. Give me everybody that's on. Just give me like a little hey or something like that, because right now it's not showing me any comments. So, and there's many of you here. So let's make sure this is actually working. It looks as though it isn't working because I only have one comment, and I recognize all of you here, so I know that you are real people and actually want to comment. So do me a favor, if you're logged into your MODUS8 account, click the little purple button in the right, and you can send me your question this way. Or what you can do is you can go in the Facebook group and either post it there, or you can send it to me directly on Facebook Messenger. Okay, so I just want to make sure I don't miss anybody's questions. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to walk you guys through a formula that I had just created, and there's going to be some additional variations of this. I'd kind of like to hear your thoughts on it, actually, as to maybe some other ways that you might want to use this or something similar. But I'll show you this as kind of a base formula, and then we can create variations off of this to help you in whatever ways you might need it. So one thing that I need a lot of is location landing pages. Okay, so like you guys have seen my site before, the Home Insulators. It's a big lead generation site that I have. And one of the things that I do on this site and all of my lead generation sites is I have a unique bit of content for each page. Okay, now this isn't like, this is like the highest quality way to do it. Like if you're trying to do something on the lowest possible budget, this may not be something you need or want. But those of you that want to do 100% unique content on your pages, this works really, really well. So what I do is I actually have, like, for instance, all of this content here. If we expand all these boxes, this page is designed to rank just for insulation terms in White Plains, New York. We have a GMB there, and so we want this to actually Dan, that is working. Yep, if you send it in through support, I've got it coming to my phone. So yep, if you send it in through support, it will absolutely come to me, because I don't know what's going on with GoToWebinar. So but you can see here what we ended up doing. This site is at least a couple years old, but all this content here is actually unique. Okay, so all this stuff here, types of insulation and explaining all of what this is. Okay, this is all actually unique. Now, there's not a ton of content here. I mean, we could look and see what the word count is, and it's a decent amount, but it's not like thousands of words or anything. But we have that content all rewritten. And then we add a little snippet at the bottom that is just 150 words about the city. That creates a 100% unique page for this location. So that is the highest quality way to do it. There's some people that will like spin a location page and then just put the little unique snippet at the bottom, and that can be fine too. But I just, on the sites I really care about, or on like client sites, I have the landing pages 100% rewritten. Sean asked, are the pictures the same from page to page? The pictures are exactly the same from page to page, right? Ideally, you would take one of them and geotag it to that location. This site's a few years old, so it was before I had MODUS8 and better organization and doing all that elaborately. And so I would guess that this doesn't have that. All right. if I had to go back and look. So the fact of every page being rewritten like this, it's a fair amount of work, right? Not going to pretend that it's not. It's a fair amount of work. But the beneficial part about it is you have great unique pages. You sleep well at night. You never have to worry about it. Okay. So on your highest quality projects, lead gen or client, I would definitely recommend using this. So what I've got for you guys is, and I'm going to be adding a couple more writers on this same task, because I've been having 3 writers that have all been doing a great job on this. What they'll do is they'll come in and they'll actually rewrite 10 location landing pages for you. Okay. Now we can create variations off of this based on what you guys feel you might need, but I just set this as 500 words. Okay. We could do longer ones at like 1,000 words. Obviously, it's going to push the cost up. But and different quantities. We can do 1, 5, 10, 20, multiple different quantities. I wanted to show you guys this first so you could give me your feedback on what other quantities or word counts you want to see. Okay, and there's also other types of formulas that are very close to this that we'll talk about, rewriting other kinds of content or even creating content from scratch. So this is just the first one. But you can see this is kind of how it works. It works very similarly to other like description rewrites, like the formula that Deborah shared with everybody. Basically, you have to paste in an original location landing page piece of content, 500 words, and then I put here without geographic info in the content. All right. If it has it in it, they'll strip it out, but it's better to give them a sample that doesn't have a city all the way throughout it. Okay. So like if you look at my installation example, you will see some references to a specific city in here. So if that's the case, they're going to rewrite it without that. All right. The reason why is you don't want to be having a high quality US writer like this writing all of your city snippets. Okay. You're going to pay like 2-3 times as much because a city snippet is very cheap. It's like $1. It's like a penny. It's like a penny a word. I mean, it's like 150 words for $1.50 to get city snippets. So you don't want to pay like this here, which is going to be a high quality US writer. These are like stay-at-home moms, college, many times like very, very well-educated, studied, like a lot of these moms have pretty high degrees, and in some cases they work a job, but a lot of cases they're doing this like it's a part-time gig for them, right? They may be doing this on nights, weekends, some of them days as well, but you're going to get really good quality from this, so it's more money, obviously. So I wouldn't pay them to write your city snippets, because ideally the way you work this is, let's say you need 10 location landing pages. You go here, you get 10 location landing pages where they're going to rewrite all about your business. So if it's actually a business where they're talking about, like for instance here, even though this is lead generation, it is actually got, pretty good content. Let the experts at the home insulators help reduce your heating and cooling bills, blah, 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 blah. We look forward to working with you. It's not just an article like you would get on some article writing site. Like they will actually rewrite, like we have been in business for 20 years or 30 years and we love blah, blah, blah. I mean, they're going to actually, this is like a business description. So this is content that isn't just going to be like gobbledygook. It's actually going to be intelligently written about the business and the services that the business does. So that's how you'll use it. And then let's say you were doing 10 landing pages, you'd go get 10 of these. So you get this, this formula right here, and you do 10, and then you'd go get 10 city snippets, and then you'd put them together in your site. Does that make sense? You would merge the two together. Let me know if that's clear for you guys. Oh, okay. Looks like comments have like started to come in. I don't know if this is all of them, but I can see some of them now. So go ahead and just send them into support desk, and I'll check Facebook as well, and we'll make sure that's good. Okay. Okay, cool. Looks like that is clear for you guys as to how that works. So give me some feedback. How do you want to see other variations of this created? Do you want to see smaller quantities, like 1 location landing page, or 5, like some smaller quantities, so you can kind of mix and match or combine them to create custom quantity? Sean asks, what does this one cost? This one here is 15. So we got one writer on this so far. The other ones will add their bids, but she's $59. And so, when you look at that, that's actually pretty good deal for US based writing like this. Actually, oh my gosh, that's a really good deal. Yeah, that's a really good deal actually. She bid this cheap. I don't know why she bid this so cheap. It's beneficial for you guys. That's a really, really, really good price. All right. My guess is because this isn't researched. Okay. This is, when you look at this formula, once I give it to you, you're going to see that it's purely to rewrite content that is already there and existing. I can't promise that other writers will be as cheap because that's pretty inexpensive. She does other work for me, which we'll be adding in here, which is research from scratch, where she would actually, like, you would give her like an example site, say you had like a lead gen site or some other content, and she would go in and actually just like, write you content from scratch about something, research content. That's going to be like probably 3x, 4x the price. I mean, a lot more. She bid this really inexpensive, actually. When you look at what she bid this as, this is like, I'm astounded actually. It's actually about as cheap as the foreigners bid for your city snippets. All right, so take advantage of that while you can. Dale said 1, 5, 15, 20. For this. That's great, Dale. What we'll do is we'll make some variations of this and then have her and the other writers bid accordingly. Anything else that you guys would like to see along the lines of the writing content? I do have a Power Page one that's almost all set. And so consider that very similar to writing research content from scratch, meaning like if you wanted like a service page or something like that. Okay. Tim, is it okay if I actually show an example of some of the content that I had written for you? That was researched content. So Tim said it's okay for me to share this with you, and I think this will be pretty cool to see. So I'm going to show you an example of not rewritten content like this here. This is actually like a research content, so it's a different. It's different, right? It's a lot more time consuming for them to write. Tim's actually working on a moving site, and so you can see like how this works, right? Zippy Moving and Storage is a local moving company here to help you with your next move. Here to make your move fast with the drop off of a Zippy Moving. Well, a couple of these things will be changed because this is what Tim's doing is he's basically taking a lead gen, he's taking a brand and basically making a lead gen site around it. So there's going to be a couple references in here that are not totally correct, but she'll clean that up for Tim before he uses it. So, but you can see this is more business, like focused. Zippy Moving and Storage makes moving easy. You can take your time loading your shell, no pressure. We keep things simple and friendly for you. We'll work with you on your schedule. Since Zippy Moving and Storage is local, we are friendly and it's easy to accommodate you. We can help you move apartments, single-family homes, dorms, condos, office, etc. So this is basically the first version of this, but you can see Tim's given her basically different pages that he wants. So different keywords, right? Like local moving service, moving quote, moving helpers, truck rental, reviews. And so she's researched all this, but she's created it all from scratch. Like this entity, if you will, didn't exist. All right. So, she is taking all of this and basically writing from scratch. All right. Talking about, getting a quote, long distance move, fair, accurate quote. So, moving containers, talking about storage and, is it clean, waterproof, secure? So it's a lot more time consuming. So you're going to pay more for something like that. But if that's of interest to you, we may put a formula up for, content from scratch. I will tell you it's going to be fast and easy, much easier for you to take content that's already written and have a writer rewrite it. You're going to spend less money and it's going to go faster because they don't have to research. I still give them the website that this is going to be used for, so that way if they have a question or not quite understanding maybe some other ways that they can say this, they can reference that website, but it's not in-depth research. It is, it is actually like just rewritten, okay? So in the case here, Jeff, you had asked what she's charging here. $60 basically for doing 10 location landing pages, 500 words. So that is pretty cheap. I can't promise you the other ones will be near that cheap, but she's excited. She's on MODUS8 now, so my guess is she's probably priced that to really get rolling fast on here. So oh, Dale, I just saw your comment here. Research content for affiliate sites, 1,000+ words. Okay, great. So this would be like, would we consider this as like, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Hopefully you don't mind. I'm gonna unmute you if that's cool. If not, just let me know. Hey, Dale.
Hey, Matt. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tell me what you're looking for content so I can see what we can do to make it happen on here.
Yeah, like content from scratch, original content. I'm looking for stuff like blog posts. I have a health-related affiliate site, and I'm looking for really good content on a particular topic. So I usually write that all myself, but it's really time-consuming, and I need to scale that. So that's what I'd be looking for.
Okay. Will you do me a favor and just send me like one of your blog posts of what you're typically doing, so I can kind of see like length and also like how much, let's say, knowledge or maybe previous experience somebody would need to have, because a couple of these writers, for some of the new formulas that I'll be doing, have actually got experience in like service businesses or even specific trades. And so obviously that's a bonus if you get somebody that knows the HVAC business or that knows, a contracting business or something like that. But for something health related, so I want to see how in depth you've written, because we'd want to make sure the content is, pretty close to the kind of quality you're putting out.
Yep, for sure. I'll definitely do that.
Okay, shoot it over to me and we'll see what we can do.
Okay, thanks.
You bet. All right, looks like you guys' questions are coming in now. Okay. Okay, just going through them here. And if I miss any because of the buggy chat here, then just, ask it again or, ping me and say, Matt, you missed it. Jeff said, okay, great. So say I have in one county 50 towns. Would I create a GMB per town and create a landing page for each, or is that too crazy for a local area? Jeff, what I would do is I would base this. You may not need to do all 50. I would base this on the size of those cities, and if you actually get like a Google, when you do a Google search, if you see it in Google Instant, meaning you start typing and Google shows you a little drop down of what is actually being searched, I would, if it shows up in that list for your keyword, then it means your keyword's being searched enough, at least by enough people that it registers in that drop down. I would definitely include it. Give you an example. I'm doing a big HVAC site right now for a client, and I would say out of all the little towns that we're going to canvas, there's a lot. There's probably about 200 cities. I would say in Google Instant, there's probably maybe about 40% of those that show. The others are a little too small and do not show. So the ones that do show, that's what we do the GMBs for. So you may not need a GMB per town. because if you're talking the smallest towns, like this is a whole county, some of those small towns will be close enough to other towns where you really won't need one. And a really good example of like totally saturating something is that home insulator site, but we probably could have gotten the same results with maybe 30% less GMBs and pages, because in some cities when you look, it's, you know, a nearby GMB is pulling, because they're small, you know, small towns, so there's not that many results. It depends on the niche, right? But for most like service kind of businesses, there's just not that. When you get into the small suburbs, there's not going to be that many. Okay. So yeah, doing entire rewrites like this, 50 cities all at once for one county. I mean, you know, if the budget's there, you absolutely could do it, but you probably don't need to do that out of the gate. Does that help? I'd pick the best ones to start, and or go smaller on your content for all those. Do them, but just don't go as in depth for all of those cities. You'll spend less that way in order to get it done. Tim asked, do I look for a population number? I used to look at a population number, but I don't use that as like a hard and fast rule anymore, because what I discovered is it depends on the business itself. I'll give you an example. One of the sites that we have is a landscaping website, okay, in several counties of New York and New Jersey. And I mean, I live nowhere near there. It just happens to be where the site's at. So I didn't know that market well at all, but I have a lot of sites in that area, lead gen and client. And what I've discovered is there's certain areas that are very, very affluent, and the population is really, really small. I mean, we're talking 10,000 people. So most people think, well, it's a waste of time to go rank for that. But like every home is like, you know, like the average home price is probably $2 million or maybe more than that. Some of these zip codes or areas, homes are 5 million, 8 million. And you know, if you're talking a home sort of service business or like a project business, like you're going to put up a fence or you're going to do a retaining wall or you're going to be doing a landscape project or a pool or something like that, you know, the kind of jobs that can be landed from this are massive. So to throw out little populations and just go for the biggest population, well, in the biggest populated city, not every home is going to be that. In fact, you might have apartments, or you might have high rises or places that don't actually need landscaping or need a retaining wall or a pool because their community or their building has one. So what you really need to look at with this is the area, because the area in the business, because some businesses, if they're just, it applies to everybody, you know, like for instance, I'm just trying to think of something that would just apply to everybody across the board. You know, maybe if it was like a plumber or something, okay, that wouldn't care about that, because you're not like necessarily caring about high-end plumbing jobs or selling something to really high-end homes. It's just like, hey, you know, we fix toilets and leaks and floods and all this other stuff. I just want population. I just want a lot of people. Okay. So Jeff, I don't know if this is pest stuff that you're doing this for, or something else, but if it's something that's going to appeal to like everybody, population is going to be important. Same with you, Tim. Population is going to be important if it's something that's mass, right? Like HVAC or something. In that case, you want to just, you know, cover everything as much as you possibly can. So like in insulation, yeah, like the home insulator site, yeah, that's my site, Jeff. In that case, yeah, we've just covered like everything, because we've discovered that there could be, it's not just new building, it's not just high-end homes. In many cases, it's older homes and even smaller homes that are not energy efficient, and either they're being sold or they're being remodeled, and people are going, there's no insulation in the attic. I got to get this, you know, I got to get this upgraded. And even new energy codes, you know, for remodels and new homes are saying, hey, you've got to have certain R values of insulation, otherwise it doesn't meet code. So in that case, it doesn't necessarily apply to everybody, because if somebody's like renting or something, then they're not going to need spray foam insulation or regular insulation. But otherwise, you know, they would just pretty much target homeowners or older homeowners or people building new. So it's not totally mass appeal, but it's definitely a little more mass. So take into account your niche and the area, but I wouldn't blindly apply population to it unless it's just a very mass kind of business, in which case doesn't matter, you know, then you want coverage. So go where the people are at. But remember, lots of GMBs in an area are really powerful, because Google's proximity will get you traffic on some of your small listings, right? Some of you that have done this and have put like 10 or 20 GMBs, like in a metro or a small metro even, you're finding a lot of times that you're getting the phone calls on the smaller ones, the fringe little ones, before you're getting them on the big ones, because those a lot of times will rank Snack Pack instantly once the GMB goes up. Okay, so if you guys aren't doing that, if you haven't been through like my multi-location course, you know, that's a really great starting place for that. And if you have, then applying a lot of GMBs in an area like that is one of, I would say that is probably like my best strategy right now in order to generate leads very, very quickly. I've got one client that is literally ordered hundreds of GMBs, and other ones ordering dozens for this very reason, because if you put them up in the smaller suburbs, they can rank the same day that you put them up without even having citations or anything else. And you'd think, oh, they're too small to get phone calls, but you know, if you have a lot of them, you get phone calls. The very first day we put a whole bunch up, client got 3 calls in 3 hours and was like texting me expletives. Said 100 more, please. It was just going bananas, because it was like instant phone calls, because we built, you know, several dozen for him. So it's something to think about. All right, let me check questions, see what else we have here. Let me see. Tim, you'd mentioned that you wanted me to walk you through link create and how you tie that in tandem with MODUS8. Okay, so I'd be happy to do that. So let's go to one of the formulas that you would need for that. Let me just get logged into one of my accounts here. Master citations. Okay, perfect. So what you're going to do first is you want to make sure that you have the domain added into link create. So Tim, do you have a link create account? If you don't, you need to make one. Okay. Okay, lovely. All right. Why doesn't my password work? Hold on a second. Maybe somebody tried to reset my password. All right, give me 1 second here. It's weird. All right, give me 1 sec and I will get this reset. Tim, I'm going to unmute you so I can get your yeah, isn't that great? It's like locked myself out of my own account. Tim, yeah, that's cool. Do you want to paste it in the chat? And then I can literally, I'll just do it for you. How about that? Want to do that? Nobody will see your password if you just paste it in here. Cool? All right, let's do that. You got it? Okay. Tim's going to give us his account, and then we will log in. So basically, while we're waiting for Tim here, well, I'll show you guys once we get in here. But the biggest thing I love about Link Create is the fact that you can know what your status of everything is. All right. You get several sites going. I've had many of you tell me this. You get several sites going, and suddenly you forget what spreadsheet is tied to what, and you've got things that you should have built but you didn't. You've got things that were built but then like never indexed or never went live. And so, once you did that, then it's like, oh man, crap. And it's just, most of us typically have been I was really haphazard before I had this in order to just plug everything in. So, okay, Tim sent us his info. Great. All right, let's give it a whirl. Okay, thanks, Tim. That makes it nice and easy. So what you're going to do is you're going to go in, first of all, to domains. Okay. Tim, do you want me to do this for a particular domain? Oh, you gave me your nap. Okay, that's fine. That doesn't fall under... Do you have a site built for this one yet? Is the site up? Why don't you send me the domain if you've got the domain up for this? I'm going to unmute you. It'll just be a little easier, I think. We can go through this together. Figure it'd be easier. Hey, Tim.
Hey, thank you, Matt.
Yeah, no problem. So tell me this. Do you have the domain up for this?
Yes, it's
okay,
Elite HVAC Contractors.
Oh, I think you showed me this before. Okay.
Yeah.
It's saying it's unavailable here, but that's fine. We can still do this. What we're going to do is we're going to create new. We're going to paste this in. Now, if you have a sitemap, you're going to paste the sitemap in here and hit import. And we can always edit this later. So for right now, I'm just going to hit save.
Okay.
But once the site is like up or you've got the sitemap, we can just come into here and click edit domain. We can put the sitemap in here and hit import, and it's going to show all of the pages within the site. We can check them all and hit save, and now it will store all those pages. So the benefit of that is on a multi-location site, once you're sending links to different inner pages, you're able to set your to-do lists in Link Create to map to those pages. So like I get citations going to several pages at the same time. And so the benefit in here is you can always see all your inner pages, and you can have one citation order going to, Elite HVAC Contractors / City 1, another order going to City 2 and City 3, etc. So it's a great way to build links to those appropriate inner pages and keep track of the links at a per page basis. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so
I forgot I was live.
Oh, that's okay. It's all good. No worries at all. It's easy to come back in here and just edit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah, so it's kind of good actually, because then everybody saw that, oh my gosh, what if I do a whole bunch of work on the site and my sitemap's not the same and I have all these other pages? Well, what you can actually do is when you come in here and you say you already had a sitemap in here even, you can just hit import and check the box again and hit save. And let's say you added 30 new pages since before. Well, it'll actually pull those 30 new pages in and save them for you. And it won't like overwrite or wipe out your existing ones. It's just going to look for the ones that you don't already have in the system, and it'll add those. So that way you're not like interfering with pages or deleting them or something that
right.
It's going
to. Do you want to show us another site that's active that you can pull it in for everybody?
What about one of these other ones? Are any of these active?
No, they're all under construction, but you can do the sintonair.com.
Okay. SINTON AIR?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. think I remember this from Mastermind.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this is what you'll do. You'll just copy the domain. I always open it and copy the whole thing. That way you get the appropriate, like HTTPS
Right.
/ and everything. Now, typically most sites today are in WordPress. If they are, then you can just go /sitemap.xml, and that usually will get you there. In this case, it didn't. Is this in WordPress?
Yes. Or yeah, sure.
Is it? Okay. Do you know if we have a sitemap on here?
Yeah, down the bottom.
Nice. Site
Should
view,
be
okay.
sitemap.
All right. I don't know if that's linked up or not. Doesn't seem to be pulling. You might want to check that link.
No. Okay.
But there's a little trick. What we can do is we can go like this.
And get it off of Google.
And we can just go to Google. We can go sitemap. Doesn't look like it's pulling anything. Okay, that's all right. Okay. I'm just gonna put a random domain into your account here. Watch, we'll just do the home insulators, right? Because there's quite a few pages on there. So we can just go home insulators and we'll drop that into here. And then what we can do is we can go, typically, if you just go /sitemap.xml, it'll pull the sitemap. Now, usually that's not actually the URL. You can see it's sitemap_index, but it's faster to type the other one. So you can copy that and throw that into here. Now, it's important to note if you actually have like multiple sitemaps all under here, it will actually go and it will go grab all those. So just do your base one and it will just grab all these other ones as well and put it all in.
Okay.
It will look for those. So what you do is you put that in. Now you hit import. It's going to take a moment depending on how big the site is. But so far we've been pretty successful with the load time here, up to about 13,000 pages. If you have something that is larger than that, ping me and I'll help you just put it in, because the browser it's like, if you have over 13,000 pages, this list is so long that it will just overload the browser. So it can accommodate, whatever quantity you have, but this here is only 100 and some, so we should be fine. Okay, so you can see it'll just give you all the pages. See, a lot of these are just all city pages, right? That's mostly what this site is. It's mostly just city pages and then service kind of pages, right? And some supporting pages as well. But once you put all those in, you check them, then you just hit save, and it's now going to save that domain. So if we go into the domain, it's now going to show us all the pages that are in here. So this is like just a cool record, basically, of every page that's in the site. 171 pages, all right? So now the benefit is let's say we actually want to go order citations for this. Okay, let's show you how we do this. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go, once we've set up the domain, we're going to go into MODUS8 and we're going to make a project. All right, so I'm just going to call this, Tim's Test Citations. This would be typically your actual location. So this could be Elite HVAC Contractors, Allentown, or whatever the location was. I make a different project for every single location because that way, when you're going in and actually looking at the projects, you know which lines up with which. You're not going into one project that has 10 of the same tasks in it going, well, wait a second, did I do all my locations? Like which is which? I separate them by city, and that way I always know when I go into a particular city, bam, here's my GMB optimization for that. Here's my citations. Here's my niche stuff. Here's my, supporting pages. Like everything is all done for that city in that one project. You can
so your projects are your file folders basically, or
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, you have the ability in formulas here to just create a project from the formula. But if you do that, your name is kind of just basically tied, at least to start, is kind of tied to that project. I mean, that is a quick way to do it. Is you can just take a formula, hit create, and it'll go create a project from that. But I do another step, which is I go in and I actually just make a project with the name of the client location. And the reason why is I'm going to put a lot of formulas in it, so that's just the way I do it. But a lot of you I know will just create it from the formula because it's a little faster, and that's totally cool.
But as you're doing different ones, it gets confusing very easy.
Well, yeah. So like if you're going to do it, it works for like the first time. So say you're going to take the citations formula and you're just going to create a project from it. But now let's say you want to go do like niche citations.
Yeah.
Well, if you go create a project for that, then you're going to end up with like all these projects for the same location. And it starts to make your project list very long. So I prefer to create one project just for the location. And then now I just come in tasks from formula. So I just click that little button right here. And then within it, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my master citations. All right. So if I type in, and this is actually the one that I'm going to use, is the master citations weekly drip. You can do a no drip as well if you would rather. All right. So you can see that. All right. You can also do a no drip, but I'm going to do a drip for this one. So I'm going to select it. And the only thing I want to outsource is the actual building of citations. So I'm going to hit.
You don't want to do it?
Say that again?
You mean you don't want to do it?
Oh, oh my gosh. You know, I
Been
was
there,
doing
done that.
this week. I've been making a lot of new formulas and filming a lot of videos and doing training for outsourcers. And I don't mind doing it. I like it because every time I do one, then it's like, hey, I never have to do that again. It's kind of rewarding. But
Absolutely.
man, going and actually making profiles, or making like even just as simple as making a page in WordPress. So that's a formula that's coming for you guys, is taking and actually making a location landing page properly in WordPress. You kind of forget how many little things go into it, down to like your title, your slug, like your headings, your content, your image, like all this stuff. There's actually a lot that goes into it. And after making those a few times for the videos, I was like, I don't ever want to make one of these again.
Haven't had to do that for a while, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So, but this is good. So yeah, no, I am never making a citation again. So, unless it's some sort of new citation that might come along, if that was even possible, and I'd need to make a video for it. So nope, no more. So I click the outsource button. They're gonna join later, and then you can schedule it for later if you want. But I'm just gonna hit start test now. So I'm gonna start this baby up. Okay, so now there's gonna be 2 tasks for this. And all of your citation tasks and really most of the outsourced formulas in here will follow this same format. A step asking you to prep the task for the outsourcer, okay, or your team or whoever's going to do it, and then the actual doing of the task. So if we go into this prep task right here, it's just asking us to make sure we fill out the business location details spreadsheet, okay? That's sitting here in the files, okay? So we would actually download that, we'd open it up and fill out all the information, and we're going to upload it to the next task. All right. So the only other thing that we need besides that is the link create access token, so that outsourcer can add the links into our link create account. Once we've done those 2 things, we can actually start the outsourcing for the task, and that's it. So all we need to do now is go into this task. That's the one the outsourcer will use. We need to add the spreadsheet that's filled out, and we need to add the access token for link create. So I'll let you fill out the spreadsheet of all the business info, but you're basically just going to grab that from the files of your prep task. You're going to just grab that from here and then fill it out. You're going to upload it to the actual task that the outsourcer is going to use.
Yep.
And the only other thing that needs to happen is you just need to give them the token URL. So this is how we get that.
Yeah, and that comes right off. It does it automatically when you.
Yep. It comes right in here. You just click a button and copy it. So let's say that we're doing this for Elite HVAC. What we're going to do is click the second button right here, this little share looking icon. Create an access URL. We click that. Now we got the token. It should automatically just, if you click this field, it should just copy it. And then once you come back over to MODUS8, you can paste. All right. And once you paste that in, Now it is, now I always just like to save it just to make sure that it saves it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come into outsource, and now you're going to outsource it. Okay. You hit assign, and then you have to hit save. If you do not hit save, it's not going to confirm it. All right.
Right.
So notice I didn't save it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to, he'll be sending me messages going, where's the business info if I do this right now. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to assign it to him.
What
But you
about this?
assign and save.
Yeah. What about the schedule? Like, I find myself standing by waiting for it to go through that minute or a couple minute process so I can move it over.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying on the actual time side of things. Right.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're making a lot of changes to the way the scheduling works. On the outsourcing side, we're actually going to start displaying the true times that it takes based on that worker and formula. So if somebody takes, for instance, writing, let's say it takes them 3 days to write something, it will actually, let's say like that's their average. It would actually show you that for them to do 10 of these, this is what it's going to take. All right. And we're going to build some other, reporting mechanisms in there as well for rewards for them based on, if they hit that or don't hit that, and feedback to encourage them to, meet or exceed deadlines. So there's a lot that's coming in there. Now, in terms of you being able to just, like move tasks over, the default minimum length for any task is just a minute. So if it's the very first task, like this prep task, it will move over almost instantly. There's a slight delay, but if you're making the project and adding the formula to it, it should move over right away. If you're actually scheduling something via, if you're going into the formula and hitting create project from that, there's a little bit more of a time buffer there, so it may take longer. So I always suggest actually just make the project, add the task to it, because then your first task will move over right away. And then, now you can actually start this task up and move this to completed, and it shouldn't take long for this to move over. So here's the thing. You do not have to wait for this to move to do in order to get this task started. So the way I do it is, as soon as I do my prep task and I put my business info here with my link create token, I don't wait for anything else. I come in, I click the outsource button right here, and I immediately assign, and I would save, and then you're done. Like you can leave the task, because what's going to happen is this will move into to do, but immediately, even before that happens, is this outsourcer is going to get an alert to go ahead and accept that task. So you don't need to wait even for that to like move.
That's what I've been doing. Yeah, and it was annoying. Okay, that's much better.
Okay, great. But I think you're really going to love the enhancements that are coming with the scheduling, the notifications, and the vendor reporting. It's a pretty big set of additions for us, and it'll just make it so much more transparent. I mean, you're going to get emails when they accept. You're going to get emails if so much time has passed and they haven't accepted something, and the ability to just automatically assign to somebody else. So it's going to really streamline things, so you're not, because that's been a challenge is, okay, right. So if an outsourcer doesn't accept quickly and you're not notified about it, something could literally be sitting here. That's happened to a few of you. Something's been sitting and you didn't even know that it was sitting to do anything about it. So that'll be vastly improved. So that way, hopefully nothing is ever sitting. But if it wasn't accepted right away, or if it was accepted and there wasn't any activity within that time frame of when it should be delivered, then you're going to be seeing flashing red lights going, hey, wait a second, this thing should be done, and instead of it just sitting there and wondering what's going on.
Right. Okay. No, that's good.
That'll allow us to also rate and reward the vendors based on their performance. So you're going to see improved performance from them once they realize that we're watching the time on everything, and that they're also competing with all the other vendors in the platform to make sure that they keep high ratings, and as long as they keep high ratings and do great, they'll continue to get a lot of work. If they slip and they don't, well, guess what? It's going to show up in their reviews and their timeliness, and show their delivery times are really slow, and you're not going to want to hire him then. So
Right.
it's really going to help things.
So then what happens after that? They build the citations and they put them in to Linkreate?
Yeah, so let's kind of show you what will happen now on this end. So for the master citations, there's the master citation list built right into Linkreate. So if we go and we just take a look at lists, okay, there's a master citation list. All right, now it's not going to show you because it's technically like quote owned by me, so it's not going to let you. And we're tweaking this so you'll actually be able to modify your own lists, but it's not going to show you this whole list unless you go and download it here. You can export it into a sheet. But what's going to happen is the outsourcer is going to go, oh, I'm doing master citations. He is going to go in actually now to accept that access token. So on his dashboard, he's going to see elite HVAC contractors. He's going to be able to go in here and assuming we had all of the pages, and well, let's use home insulators as an example. He's going to go in here. He's going to see all the pages. He's going to see what needs, what you have here. Then he's going to go to do, and he's going to create a new to do. He's going to come in here, he's going to pick the list. So he's going to say master citation list. And now, based on the business info that you gave him, he's going to specify where those links should be built to. So if in that spreadsheet you specify the home page, he's going to leave it just like this. Yeah. If instead you specified that you wanted it going to the Yonkers, New York page, or Installation Contractors Yonkers, because that's where you want to send, these Yonkers citations to, then he'll go ahead and put that, if that's what you have in your sheet. He's going to put status to be built, all right? And then now he's going to hit save. So what's going to happen is now when you go into your Yonkers, I'll just back up so you can kind of see it from start to finish. If I go into that home insulators site here and I go to do, all right? Yeah, exactly. It's going to show that if you look in the very lower corner of my screen here, you can see, or here, we can just even click on this, okay? You can see that this is what's to be built, and it's going to the Installation Contractors Yonkers page, right? So these are going to be all the links in that master citation sheet for him to build for you.
Now, do you have a video of this for your, well, actually, I wouldn't need the video.
You don't need to do any of this. Yeah, we do have some training videos that are coming out, but you don't have to do any of this. All you're going to do is you're going to come in after you see that this task is in review, right? So once this is no longer sitting here and it's in review and saying, hey, this task has been delivered, what you're going to be able to do is you're going to come into Linkreate and you'll be able to go to Backlinks and actually see the ones that are live going there. Okay, none going live yet, obviously, because we didn't do any yet. But yeah, if whatever ones are still in to do will be in to do, whatever ones are actually live will be in Backlinks. But the cool thing is he has the ability to mark status on all these. All right, so he can, if it's to be built, then it has been built. If it's been submitted, and then you can see if it's submitted. If it's actually gone live, you can actually see that it's gone live. And so you're going to be able to tell right away what's happening with the links that are being built. And this is why I love it so much versus just getting a spreadsheet from somebody, because a spreadsheet doesn't really tell you the full story. Because
not at all.
A spreadsheet, like, excuse my language, but somebody could just BS, like somebody could just like totally screw you on a spreadsheet because they could just be like, oh, I just submitted all these sites. Well, this makes it actionable. So even if they say that everything is submitted, well, I should have got some live links, right? So under Backlinks, you'll see which ones have gone live, if they've marked those live, or, if there's ones that couldn't be built or whatever, it'll show you. And, usually it's pretty good about putting a note or something in if a site is down or something didn't work. And so by looking at it this way and then being able to see which links have actually like gone live for you, or at least were submitted, you really get a better sense about the fact that, okay, this guy actually went through and did all this work. They didn't just like give me a spreadsheet that's like, okay, well, what do I do with this now? You can see which ones have gone live, which ones maybe didn't, haven't indexed yet as well. So if you want to do other indexing efforts to get those indexed, then that's possible as well. So it just gives you more like actionable insights about the work that you had done. And then it will continue to do that ongoing. So that way, as links, become indexed, or if something were to drop, like you'll be able to see that and just know like you're getting the value out of what you paid for.
Right. Let me ask you this then. Let's say one of my sites, I have a spreadsheet of niche links.
Yep.
And I want to check them.
Mm-hmm.
How I have to import them to here somewhere.
Yeah.
How can you go over that?
Yeah. So basically, what you'll do is under backlinks, and we have videos of most of this. It's not all up yet, but this is something you can refer back to video wise as well. So most people are using this formula in here. It's actually one of the most popular formulas right now, is this one: compile existing backlinks from Ahrefs and add to link create. So literally you just prep this task by giving them the domain share. That's literally all you have to do, is just give them the domain name and access token, and they'll go in and actually pull all your existing links and put them right in your link create account for you. But let's just say you had just some links that you wanted to put in. You just go to backlinks and you go to mass import. And by doing that, there's a spreadsheet template that you'll put your links on, and you'll basically just drag that spreadsheet here and import it. And then now it'll put all those links in, and it works on like a queue system. So if you put a lot of links in, it's not going to go search all of those immediately on Google. It's going to stagger them out. I think it's like 5 seconds a piece or something. And it'll go check all of those in time, and it'll just say pending until they're all checked. But as soon as it's like, hey, indexed, not indexed, it'll report that to you. That way you can see exactly, what links are live, what links are indexed or not, no follow, do follow, etc.
Right. And to do that popular formula, what does that cost? Can't be that much. It's worth it.
No, it's really cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they just going into, I actually gifted this outsourcer an Ahrefs account for you guys, because he's in India. I mean, he's not going to pay hundreds of dollars a month for Ahrefs. So I don't use my Ahrefs account anymore. I just gave it to the outsourcer, and voila. And so he does it. So yeah, $2.
Oh,
$2 to go do that.
Let me think about that one.
Let me think about it, right? Yeah, so you'll see some things in here that like are really cheaper than they should be. And it's probably because these have been outsourcers that have been with me for a long time. And most likely I bought them the software, or I bought them the tool, or, Matt somehow subsidized the cost in a purely selfish manner, because guess what? I ordered this formula just like you guys do. I'd rather give him the account and go spend $2 to go have him do all this for me than to sit there and go in the account myself. I just don't have the time. So it's far better to just go in here and just get it done.
Now, can you check the quality of the links or anything without the account? The Ahrefs?
Well, so Link Create will do a little bit of that for you. It's at least going to report to you whether they are, whether they're actually live or not, because Ahrefs is not accurate in that sense. They may tell you that a link is dropped or that a link is live, and it could potentially not be. They're not continually like going to those sites. So we excel in that area, at least in terms of giving you like accurate info right that moment. Like we go out and check the site, just your ones that you put in, and report that. So, but it doesn't have anything in terms of like metrics, like which most of you guys that know my take on this, I'm not buying things based on like metrics. I'm buying things just off of relevance. So while domain authority and some of these other metrics, are very, very popular, and I'm not saying they don't work. I'm not, poo-pooing them. I'm just saying I focus on relevance, and my stuff ranks like every time. And when I only focused on authority, my stuff didn't rank every time. So not saying authority doesn't work, but if you don't have the relevance as well, it doesn't work. So
you're basically
there's nothing I've seen that has a relevance score yet. I mean, maybe that's something we need to create.
There you go. So you're looking at the URL and the
right. Yeah. What kind of saturation is your keyword in the domain URL or title or other key places.
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Okay.
Right now that doesn't exist. So
That's good. Thank you.
but if you want to find, but on a competitor level, there is a formula in here as well for doing that on a competitor basis. So
To benchmark a competitor.
yeah, that competitor benchmarking one will find the relevant links. That is actually all they're reporting back. They're not giving you all the competitor links. It's the same outsourcer that does this. He uses the Ahrefs account. He goes in and pulls only the relevant ones. So that is a manual process. He literally looks at every single link, sees if it has your keyword in the domain title or URL. If it does, he adds it to the sheet and imports it into your link create as a to-do. Doesn't mean that you're going to be able to get that link necessarily, but he is only going to report to you the relevant links. So
okay.
That is a really neat way to use that is
get all the first place ones.
I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but you don't have to just benchmark competitors in your own city. You can benchmark competitors in bigger, more competitive markets, and just have him benchmark just the keyword, not the geographic part of the keyword. So if the keyword was insulation or spray foam insulation, you'd have him benchmark that in a really competitive city, but he wouldn't be reporting to you the actual city links, if that makes sense. He'd just be getting all their contracting and
all the niche ones.
Yeah, because a lot of times bigger, more competitive cities, those businesses are going to have a lot more of those really good links and industry or niche links. And in a smaller, more medium-sized market, you're going to now have links that your competitors don't have. So you can't just look at your immediate competitors, because sometimes you can just go to more competitive competitors, find their best links, and they're ones that people in your market don't even have. So when you go build those, now you got a leg up on people.
Does the site list them by quality of relevance?
It's listing them from top to bottom in Ahrefs. So they're just literally going to be put into your link create account from top to bottom out of Ahrefs. So doesn't mean that the very first one is the best one and that the 20th one is less. It doesn't mean that. But my criteria is as long as they're relevant, I want to see them. I don't care about,
now,
I don't care about which one being better than another.
Okay, so they're in there now. The next step is having somebody go create the links.
Right. Yep.
What formula there does that?
So there's one here, but I don't think I have the bid on it. Let me just go to this. Let's go. Sorry, wrong one. I don't think I have him on the bid for this, but what you're looking for is build competitor benchmarking links on a drip. All right, let me check. Maybe he does. Is he on here? No, he's not on here. I'll make a note to get him to add his bid on there for that. Oh, no, wait. Is that the prep? Nope, it's not. Okay. So, yeah, just remind me to go ahead and update that for you guys, because he can still go in and same guy that actually does citations can go in and build these for you. Okay.
So then it's the Ahrefs, then the competitor benchmark, then they build the competitor benchmarks.
Right.
Drip.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
No, that's a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah. It helps, right?
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Good. All right, Tim, is that clear for you now?
Yes, it is. You did a great
awesome
job. Thank you.
Cool. You're welcome. All right. Let's keep going with the other questions here. So let me just go through our list. I see Mark had some. Let me just make sure we grab those. Mark, let me just get back to your question here. Let me find it. Mark said, this is what my VA said. Regarding the citations, the pre-uploaded links on link create are only for US-based websites, because the option for address is for US states and cities only. So, Mark, the master list on here is just US only. However, we can absolutely make you a master list for, I think, are you in Australia, Mark? Is that right? We can definitely make other country master lists. That's not a problem at all. The niche list will actually have other countries within them. And we're working on a way to easily filter that. They are in the lists, but they're mixed together. So we actually do have like a country field, but there's just no way to sort by that currently. So why don't you do this, Mark? Shoot me a message and just, tell me that you want that, or remind me, say, hey, Matt, I want some, I want, a list set up just for, my particular country, or a list for this. And I can help you do that, because there is a country field that's there's just not a way to filter right now by that. But we do have a filter section for filtering for other items, so we can absolutely do that. Just shoot me a reminder. It's not that tricky for us to do for you. Jeff, best place for MODUS8 training is in MODUS8 Facebook group. All right. So there is all of the founders webinars that we've done, and then now we have the weekly coaching webinars. So they are all right there for you. If you're having trouble finding them, just let me know. Same for formulas as well. There is something, I don't know if you caught this, I think I announced this last week, but we have a new formula library coming, which will make this a lot easier to be able to see all of your formulas, okay? So there's going to be a tab here that says this will be called My Formulas, and then you'll be able to see all formulas. And so if you click all formulas, it'll show you all the formulas that I've shared in MODUS8. And if there's ones that you don't have, there'll be a little button. These columns will change a little bit. There'll be a little button that says add. And then you can just literally click add, and it will add it to your formulas as well. So that way it shares it to your account. So there will be, it'd be so much easier than me having to give you these share links, and you have to like wonder, did I get that one? Did I not get this one? It will actually show you all the formulas in here. And if there's one that you don't have, or if I have a brand new one like tonight, I want to give it to you, it'll be sitting right in here for you in everyone's account. And you can just click add, and it'll add it right to your list of formulas, so you have your own copy of it. That'll be nice, right? Dave asks, can we see what citations are included in the master citation list? You can. What you want to do, Dave, right now, the easiest way to see that is if you go to lists, find the list that you want, and you can go to export right here, and it will show you the entire sheet. We're working on a more of a convenient way where you can actually open up the lists and be able to tweak them for yourself. So like you can come in and actually modify a list, but we're wanting to do that in more of like a crowdsourced way. So that way, like if somebody finds like a painting site that's down, they can basically like suggest that to the overall list. So that way, if you guys, find a site that's going to be down, or something's not working right, or you find a new site you want to add to it, it can, not only benefit you, but others as well. Mark, where can we get video training on all things MODUS8 link create? So first, most basic way to go is support.iautomate. So support-iautomate.com. And there's a MODUS8 section in here. This will give you a quick walkthrough, as well as kind of formulas, adding formulas to projects, adding users, and info about how the marketplace works. Okay, so that is definitely the most basic sort of first line info. The second is all of the founders webinars in the Facebook group. So if you need help finding those, just let me know. And that's going to definitely be more in depth, a little more kind of presentations, like as I've shown different things. There's one that's entirely on link create in there. There's also ones that are more Q&A focused, kind of like tonight, where it's just coaching. So it's totally all just me helping you guys to get the most value out of everything. But if you need help finding those, just ping me. Dale says, I found the secret spot for affiliate links in our dashboards. Can we share those with others yet? Wait a little bit on that, Dale. And the only reason I say that is right now is it's just going to go to an order form. And so if you've got somebody that's like, really interested and they know exactly like what it all, kind of includes and they just want it, without explanation, then you could send them there to that. But coming soon, we'll actually have what I'd call more of like a pre-sale page where it will actually break down the different packages and how everything works and formulas, and just gives a little more explanation on everything. And that page will actually have an opt-in, so that way it will track everybody like the whole way through. So let's just say you got somebody and they're interested and they go there, and let's say what they buy right away, that's great, you'll get it right away, but it's gonna cookie them and track them in our system for you for life. So that way, if they don't buy today and they buy in a month or something, then you'll still get credit for that person. So yeah, after the first of the year, we'll be doing a lot more with that, but our focus right now is making sure you guys are rocking and rolling with this before we let other people in. Okay. Awesome, Mark. Yeah, just send me that and I can help you with link create and getting those lists all set for you. Okay, super. Any other questions? Anything that I missed or anything else that you guys had for me tonight? Let me check Facebook and support chat as well. I think we're good. Let me just double check here. Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much. I had a great time with you guys tonight. Really good questions, by the way. Really in depth, especially for being the day before a holiday. Big turnout and great questions. So just want to thank you guys for that. Have a fun, very safe, wonderful holiday, and I will see you guys back here next week. In the meantime, just let me know what I can do for you, and I will share this formula that I showed you tonight into the Facebook group, and I will put this recording up tomorrow. So if any of you guys want to refer back over the weekend or whatnot, you certainly can. All right. Thanks, everybody. Good night.